free NFTs. And so, I could see a world where Beeple chooses a piece to mint out for free too. I mean, that could happen. That artists might use free NFTs to expand their collector base. So I'm curious, what's your take on free NFTs and the role that they play in Web3?
Well, first off, you need to step away from the idea of NFTs as assets, right? If you take that away, what are they? I I think there's no argument in the fact that NFTs are the molecules that build up this ecosystem, right? That's a pretty straightforward way. We call them building blocks, Lego blocks, molecules essentially, right? Which means they need not be scarce at all. Give me one good reason why the building blocks of something ought to be scarce. There is no reason. So that's where the idea of free NFTs sort of light a bulb in your head, right? You want adoption, you want a lot of people to participate in a particular place, but then you're instantly right out of the gate, you're saying, I've only got 10,000 of these, or 1,000 or 100 of these, and once they're all gobbled up, there's nothing for the rest of you, right? So free NFTs essentially distribute access and a connection with a large number of people, and that's kind of what eDAO itself is working towards, right? To sort of step away from this narrative, and we're doing it in a place where we're not we're not trying to target just a Web3 aware audience, right? Because it's hard, because they've seen NFTs as assets for so long, and when you're giving them away for free, they instantly don't value them, and instantly it's a massive dissonance there. But if you look at someone who's got a fresh pair of eyes and they're coming into the space, and you tell them, dude, this is the building block of the space, here, go on, have it, and you can build something out of it, that's where the magic starts to happen. Experiences are scarce, assets are scarce, access should not be scarce, and that's why free NFTs.
Yeah, I have a quote here from an article that I read that you were quoted in prior to this, and it said, the question was like, why should we be thinking about accelerating Web3 access? And the answer was, we need to move the conversation away from scarcity as the sole driver of value. And yeah, that was NFTs for a 12-month period of time. Scarcity was the sole driver of value. The topics were what's the quantity of this collection, and that was really dictating the cost. Oh, there's only 10,000 CryptoPunks, they must be valuable, right? But when you can create an infinite number of scarce objects, then sometimes, yeah, that scarcity isn't as important, and it's more about what's built around that asset. So I really like that. And you mentioned some things, like you mentioned experiences, and so maybe it would be good to talk through different types of experiences that we might see in the future built around these NFTs. I have some thoughts I could throw out, but before that, maybe I'll just let you riff on it.
Oh man, I've said some questionable things and repeatedly contradicted myself. So I'm glad what you picked up was okay. Experiences, right? The beauty of NFTs is that they can unlock not just digital experiences or virtual experiences, but physical ones, phygital ones, and any sort of permutation of these experiences.
Phygital.
Yeah.
Is that the
Why
word?
not?
That's a new word. That is a new word. I have not heard phygital, but you're just talking about the combination of a digital and physical experience, and you can unlock access in both realms.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. I mean, you're a Beeple fan, so Beeple's a very phygital kind of guy, right? So when
Yeah.
he creates a work of art, there is a phygital object that you get as well. Something
Yeah.
that's tangible. So I think NFTs can unlock a range of things for you. They can be, the most. I mean, if you were to reduce it down to an extremely crass example, they can be the most effective loyalty program that a brand ever has, right? But the beauty is, instead of something that's loose, or it fizzles away over time, you can get your user or your customer on a journey, and build on it and take him through it and reward him for being part of that journey. And NFTs can enable that, right? For a celebrity or a creator, an NFT becomes that tangible connection between the two. And you've had conversations about this in the past with many of your guests, right? It
Yeah.
offers such a strong bond between them, right? And it helps to separate the true fans from people that are just dropping in and going away. So NFTs can unlock a bunch of experiences: physical, digital, phygital, virtual, and a combination of all of these.
Yeah. Do you expect to see the NFTs break into? So I was thinking like there's retail, entertainment. I threw utilities down on my list when I was thinking about experiences and utilities. I mean, it's like identity as a utility, and then communities. Which one of we? I feel like we're kind of talking about communities, but when you talk about retail and entertainment, will those surpass the I don't know the quantity of experiences we have? Will they be focused on retail entertainment more so than maybe like the communities and art? Because right now we're in the community in the art world, but I feel like as NFTs just gain steam, it's going to go towards the retail entertainment maybe more so than today.
It's interesting, right? You brought in entertainment, community, art, retail, essentially. I think they're all part of the same thing, and we are, in a sense, heading towards a convergence, right? I keep telling people the NFT space represents the renaissance of our times. What I mean by that is it's the perfect storm of finance and technology, but it's propelled forward by culture, which is how you define a renaissance. That's how the first one happened, and we're bang in the middle of this one. Culture and commerce have always sort of been hand in hand together. What the NFT space will enable is to sort of supercharge that relationship, essentially, and that's where retail comes in, that's where art comes in. So in a
Yeah.
sense, what'll end up happening is experiences are always going to be driven around culture, are always going to be oriented around culture. Even utilities, right? If there is an element of culture in it, then they are far stickier than like a bare minimum utility right now. What does this unlock for me? Does it unlock a 5% discount in this particular transaction or the next? Or does it unlock access to my favorite kind of content over a period of time? I'd
Yeah.
always pick option two, and I'd still spend money on either of these, right? But you see what I'm trying to say, right? If either of these is suboptimal or subpar in quality, the consumer drops away. But when both of these come together, with the best of intentions, with the best quality, with the idea that you want to exchange value with your consumer and not rip them off over one transaction, it's magic. And that's what we will begin to see, this convergence of technology and commerce propelled forward by culture.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.